I guess this is the educational day right here. This is the educational day, and so I'm just sitting back marinating, just taking it easy. And so now I want to deal with another thing that that we need to deal with. Yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to deal with something I need to deal with. I'm gonna step in here and get my phone now, so I can be able to pull up some scripture. Yep, I can be able to pull up some scripture. That's what we're gonna do there. Yep, I can be able to pull up some scripture. I like to say shalom to all my brothers and sisters that's near and those that are far off. I know I've been usually those times when y'all don't see me on Facebook for a couple of days. Sometimes the Father get me rested up for what's coming. And I never know what that is, but I know what it is once the videos start rolling. So it's all about our brothers and sisters getting educated right, because counsel is education. Counsel is education. Counsel is advice. Counsel is wisdom. Counsel is know-how. And you're gonna need counsel. I don't care what it is that you're doing in life. And if you don't get the right counsel, man, life could be so much different. So in this particular video right here, I want to deal with, I would say our younger brothers, but I can't just limit it to our younger brothers, because we got some old brothers that's doing the same thing, you know. And that's trying to establish a good life for yourself on this kingdom while doing the wrong thing. You see, the scriptures tell us to obey the laws of the land. All right? And what we have to understand is that these people have strategically put laws in place that's for your demise. There's systematic traps and systematic schemes that are designed to put you in a place to where it legalizes slavery for them. You see, the whole desire is that we would all as Negroes go back into slavery, where we work for nothing, where we work all day and get paid nothing. But they know that that's totally unrealistic. They know that in this day and time, they'd have to kill off the vast majority of us to take us back. But they have came up with other systematic schemes to use against you, where they say, well, so they think. But by the time we get through with them, it's going to be something totally different. So we want to show you some systematic schemes that have been laid down. And this is one of the reasons why our younger brothers and sisters that are in the truth and in the Israelite heritage, when you got young children, you need to start teaching your own children. You need to pray to the Most High that He'll make a way to set you up to where you can decrease your living expenses, so you don't have no outstanding debt and no massive overhead, so you can be able to take the time and instruct and teach your own children. Because the first systematic scheme that they got for our children's demise, is the public school system. Because the public school system is where you're going to send your child from. And they say that you learn more in the first 5-6 years of living than you learn your whole life. And so they want to be the first ones to get a hold of your children, so that they can warp their mind at an early age by teaching them the wrong things. And that is where they're going to get exposed to everything. They're going to get exposed to homosexuality, lesbianism, transgenderism. They're going to get exposed to all of that. They're teaching these things in kindergarten. They're going to get exposed to Santa Claus and Peter Cottontail and the Easter Bunny and all of the things that cause them to go against the Most High. And they're going to get taught these things in the place of their purity and in the place of their innocence. And they will grow up with these things, believing them as true. And that is the condition that many of our adults are in right now. You know there ain't no Santa Claus, yet you worship, you steal Christmas every year. You know the Christmas tree is heathen and paganistic according to Jeremiah 10th chapter. One go in the forest, they cut down a tree. They bring it back, they fasten it with nails and hammers that it don't move. They deck it with silver and gold. But these idols, they must need to be born because they cannot walk on their own. They need somebody to bear them, carry them around. They can't speak, nor do they eat or sleep. They can't do nothing. We know these things already. The first systematic scheme, as we say, is the public educational school system. Because the only greatness that they'll ever learn about their people would be when they was in slavery. Well, this was the first slave that did this. Well, that's the only thing they're going to learn is the first black. And that all by itself causes a child to feel inferior when she see everybody else and see, well, why is it we only the first? But they got hundreds and thousands of great people plastered over everywhere, and they got one of me. You see, second systematic trap is how they set this system up, that when our children get teenagers, and you got the music, that's the next systematic scheme that's designed to warp the senses of a child's mind. And so they hire and give these sellout clowns money to put bad things, because you are what you eat, and whatever's ingested, that's what's going to become. You are what you eat. As a man think, so is he. Whatever goes in the mind, that's what's going to come out. So they warp us with that music. And the music gears our children toward all types of things, toward drugs, toward sex, toward all kind of promiscuity and debauchery and wickedness and hatred toward one another. You know what? If y'all don't beware of these things, when you got children, if you don't beware of them, then you know what? I mean, what can we say? The Father gonna hold you accountable because it's your responsibility. He said, teach the next generation. Teach them my laws when you walk by the wayside, when you lay down at night, when you eating your meal, when you're walking by the wayside. He said, you're supposed to be constantly teaching your children the things about me. But our people, we've have a habit of allowing other people to teach us. When you know full well, if your enemy is not going to treat you right, what make you think he going to teach you right? That ain't going to happen. One of the greatest systematic schemes that we got is laid out for our young men, because our young men are commodities. From 18 on down to about 40. Oh, them are the best years of your life. Them are the times that you can get the most productivity out of your life. So you are a commodity. You are in demand. You're in demand. So your first snare as a young man is to not graduate or meet the standard that they have set through their educational department. Because if you don't meet their standard or graduate, it automatically confines you to a life of crime and poverty, which will lead you to the penitentiary, where you becoming a slave is legal business. And look at our young men. They don't want to go to school. That's why I said you got to start teaching your own children, homeschooling your own children, so that they don't come up under these standards and have to live up to these standards. Who are you to tell me, if I don't graduate from your high school, that I don't, my chances of being employed decrease? No, you keep your high school. You can keep your raggedy job too. I don't want none of it. You see, I'm what the world call an uneducated man, because I ain't graduate from nobody's high school. Though I went, and there were plenty of people that did graduate from high school and went off on to go to college that are in far worse shape than I am. There are college graduates with double masters and PhD degrees that will come and sit at my table and ask me what I think. And I'm the uneducated person. And I used to feel bad that I didn't graduate from high school. But it came to a point to where I started feeling glad that I didn't graduate from high school. I knew it wasn't something that was wrong with me, because when I was in school, I felt like the teachers, the children, they was beneath me. It was beneath my potential to be trying. How can you teach me something that this don't even make sense to me? This is too small for my understanding. I don't say that out of pride. I say that because that's how I felt. Really? Really? I remember one of the young brothers that when I was going to school, we had came out of school one day, and he was telling everybody he said, man, that Michi, he's smart as a mug, boy. Man, everything the teacher was asking, nobody could answer. He had to answer. It wasn't that I was smarter than everybody else. It wasn't that, because I wasn't smarter than everybody else. It's just that the things that they were teaching our children are beneath our children. They teach our children that are beneath them to stagnate the growth of their mind. They do not challenge the mind to raise above nothing. So you're talking about a teacher, a student that could confound the teacher. A student that got to get sent to the office because he done confounded the teacher and then embarrassed her. Oh, you got your pride in the way. Because what your student's challenging you with, you ain't got no answers for. And it's totally against the curriculum that you're teaching, but it don't make sense. But I grew up in the street, and I sat at the feet of old men that had life experiences. But I come to understand this, that everybody, they attach everything to whether or not you had a high school diploma, because you couldn't go to college if you didn't have a high school diploma. Well, see, I escaped that loophole because those laws hadn't been put in place. Those laws were put in place because of brothers and sisters like myself that pulled away from this false educational system and said, I don't need that, and slid right through the cracks and was able to go to trade school or something like that, because you didn't need to have a high school diploma to go to trade school. I slid right in there at 18 years old, 17 and a half years, slid right in there. I ain't never going to school again. But I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm about to go to beauty school. I'm going to beauty school. I'm going to learn how to do these women's hair and this and that and the other, and that's going to be my business, and I ain't going to have to worry about that. Because one thing my big cousin used to tell me, he said, there's 999 ways to get money, and working ain't one of them. He said, and boy, don't you never go and work for the white man, because he ain't never going to give you what you can get on your own. And he was absolutely right. But see, what I was being taught was what my mindset was like. And I operated according to what I was being taught. Our brothers and sisters are operating according to what they're being taught. And there is a difference. Based on who you got teaching you determines what the outcome of your life gonna be. So I understood that, and I slipped through that crack. And at 18, at 19, when I got my beauty degree, my daddy and them was proud. Everybody was proud because they thought I was going to be one that was going to slip through the cracks. See, I started looking at something long before then. Because I had 3 brothers that walked before me that had made mistakes as teenagers and ended up in jail. Ended up as legitimate slaves. Ended up as legitimate slaves. You see? Until you start to understand, hey man, it's a high market for us. It's a high market for us to get caught selling dope. It's a high market for you to kill somebody or to hurt one of your brothers. Now one of you gone, now one of you on your way to jail. And the purpose for the jail is free labor. They want to take you back to where they been, because they couldn't survive without the Israelites. So they had to find ways, they keep up ways that they can hold on to him and keep him in a place as a captive for the sake of their survival and their systematic schemes that have been put in place to do it. Now we got to understand these things. So for every person, every male that don't graduate, see, and they closed that loophole. Oh no. This dude, he ain't got no, she don't have a, no. But they got degrees, and they're the business people. They're the business. You know why? You know why we was business people? Because we already knew that without a high school diploma, wasn't no job gonna hire us. So we slipped through them craps and went to trade school. And some of us learned how to do cleaning. Some of us learned how to do laundry. Some of us learned how to do hair. Some of us went to be barbers. Some of us went to trade school and became all sorts of things. Pipe fitters, electricians, mason builders. We became all things, but we didn't have no diplomas. And they said, oh no. Because what this is doing is this is creating more professional people out of the ones that we want to be slaves. So they closed that loophole. And they said, okay, well, you got to have a diploma to go to trade school. You must finish. You must finish our indoctrination period before you can do any of these things. For those in these days that don't graduate from high school, they'll be in trouble. because they got too much pride to go work at Church's Chicken or McDonald's, and many of your old people are occupying them spots. The only way you get jobs now is, see, they wait till a person gets so old, then they'll let him have the Church's Chicken job that they wouldn't give the kid that graduated. I mean, that didn't graduate. You see, the kid that didn't graduate, he don't stand a chance at getting hired at anything. But they'll give the old man that didn't graduate that job. You see? Because they want the young man to become so desperate, and not to mention that if he's moving into promiscuity and start having children and stuff, not to mention he ain't got no job. What else is he gonna do? They're gonna put drugs in his community, then he gonna sell some dope to his own people. You see, I know, because I done done it. I done been the person that done it. I done been the person that done it, that took the woman's food stamps and seen the babies walking around just butt naked because there wasn't no diapers, because she done spent all of the money. And see this woman walking around with her ribs showing, no lights, no gas, no water, no nothing. House just filthy and nasty. It broke me right then and there. Broke my heart right then and there. Because the Spirit was saying, how could you be doing this to your sister and they in the condition? Look at these kids, and look, you're the one that's responsible for it. It broke me right there. Yeah, it did. But for that young man, he's forced to do it. And his excuse is that he got to take care of himself. He got to take care of himself. He got to have something. He wants some nice things in life too. But you know what? Guess where you're going to end up at? You're giving them the right to lock you up. Because whatever you make, whatever money you make, you got to give that. You got to give that back. They just giving you that as a payment in advance. Oh, they'll let you have the $10,000, $15,000 ride with the big wheels to ride around. They'll let you beat it up. And they'll let you kick it for a couple of summers. But they're going to lock you away for 20 years. And that little bit of money that you did, you long and forgot about. And now you're going to work every day of your life. You're going to work a job in the penitentiary that you probably could have made $27 an hour if you was out here. It's a systematic scheme. It's because our children ain't being educated on the things that are against them. Telling y'all what I know. And I don't like to look back at my past and glorify nothing out of my past, but I look at my past as a means to paint a picture. Because I didn't die. I didn't die, and I didn't go to the penitentiary. But there were three ways out of the street thug life. You either die, you go to the penitentiary, or you become a victim of your own circumstance. What's up, cuz? Come on out. You become a victim of your own circumstance. Now, I didn't die. I'm still here. I didn't go to the penitentiary. I'm still out here on the streets. But you talking about, all the money I made selling dope, I smoked up all of that money and then spent quadruple the money that I ever made because I end up as a victim of my own circumstance. There ain't no easy ways out of that. You don't take away nothing from that. You don't take away nothing. So those are systematic schemes that have been set for us as a people not to survive, to go to the penitentiary. I don't know if y'all remember that dude, but I'm sure y'all remember that dude.
Shalom, shalom.
That's my cousin Terry. That's my cousin Terry. That's my big cousin Terry. And so we've been doing life together since we were children. And we done these things that we're talking about. But eventually we had to come to a place to where we understood, hey, look, either somebody gonna kill me out here because they jealous, the police gonna kill me, either I'm gonna go to the penitentiary. You see, we didn't go to the penitentiary. Right. But when you put us together, boy, we could knock down a pile of primos and then go for another one. So I'm just saying to myself is that you don't walk away from nothing. These are the systematic schemes that our brothers and sisters had to be taught that's awaiting on them. And right now, the prison industries are full. They're building them every day. And 75% of the people that's locked up in prison are our brothers. And they have found a way to legitimize slavery. And it all begins with our young men not graduating from high school or meeting that standard. And they get so much money because these private industries get state money too. So for every one person, let's do some figuring. Let's calculate this up. Let's say the job, one of our brothers get 20 years. It's 365 days. In the penitentiary, you ain't getting no day off. It's 365 days in a year. And that means time 20. Now you say that the job, that they a pipe fitter in the prison, or they making some type of merchandise, and they make $25 an hour. They make $25 an hour for 8 hours a day, 365 days in a year for 20 years. How much money do you think that private industry to benefit from one person? Then to cap that off, that job would be paying insurance and everything, which would probably rank up to be another $5,000, $10,000 a year on top of their salary. And then on top of that, they're going to get $20,000 per head for every individual that comes in that penitentiary. You look at the math. You see, our brothers them probably contributed. One brother being in the penitentiary them probably contributed $1.5 million in a 20-year time span to that private industry. How much more when 75% of the prison population is our people? And y'all think these things ain't important? Yeah, they real important. So, we're talking about that education. That's what it is. That's what it is. It's the same thing. The sisters is the same way. You know why we got so many sisters in the strip club? Because they think that's a fast way to make money. That's because half of them is uneducated. Half of them that dropped out of high school, they wanted to be fly, they wanted to be hip, they wanted to be cool, just like we did. The only thing about it, see, the Most High had mercy on me. Most High had mercy on me. And I've seen some people do the same thing that didn't make it near as far. But they didn't have that thing where they leaned and depended on godly counsel. I would listen, and I want the people to tell me the right thing even when I was in the midst of doing wrong. And this is what some of our younger brothers need to do. You see? Because Lil Wayne them is teaching them now. And that's why Lil Wayne them got them all wanting to be thugs. Look at their pants, got them all running around here wanting to be thugs and this and that. That's who's teaching your children. Look at who's teaching your girls. Nicki Minaj them, Beyonce them. Now look at the way your girls are going. They're walking around, they booty cheeks hanging out, they breasts is hanging out. They ain't got no, they look at who's teaching them. You see, it's all about education. It's all about counsel. Blessed is the one that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly. And when we look at the condition of our people, we know whose counsel that they're walking in. So I'm telling y'all, man, it's time out for that. We got to step all the way up to the plate, and we got to intensify the word of God going forth. I mean, we got to intensify to the point to where it's just consuming everything. The job, well, you gonna fire me? Go on and fire me then. Go on and fire me then. I pray to the Father to put me someplace where I can speak His word on a daily basis. Go on and fire me. Go on and get rid of me. But that's what it's going to take. That's what it's going to take. Now, if you ain't got the stomach for it, you might as well just go sit down somewhere and quit pretending. Let the great pretenders get out the way and let the real men step up to the plate. Yeah, let the real men step up to the plate. Let the real men step up to the plate. We DJing them picnics and stuff like that. And, you know, I get to rolling that Hebrew music. I get to rolling that Hebrews is coming and all of that. I get to rolling that music. And the people be like, whoa, what is that? That is bad. I get to rolling something like some Brother Brian E7. I get to drop some 100 bars on them. They be like, whoa. I put some, I just at the picnic the other day, and I put Yakim Maccabee's his Tribulation song on there that he done and had my voice in there. And they was like, what is that? Is that you on there? Yeah. It's something you ain't never heard before, but the music is hitting, pounding. If them thugs saying nothing can affect our youth, what make you think the Father's word can't? What make you think that? So it's all about education. You are what you eat. And then we got to make our brothers and sisters understand that, our nieces, our nephews, and even if they don't want to hear it, we still got to tell them. Because when their head hit a rock, what you told them will come back to them. And hopefully they'll turn around. That's going to be the last video for today because I'm tired. Shalom.